Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Yes, today is Monday, January 12th, and we are so glad to be back for another helpful edition with news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions, and so much more for the Rise Up Morning Show. If you haven't yet, I'm going to tell you where to go to find us 24/7. I'm talking about the RUMS community. RUMS stands for Rise Up Morning Show. Has nothing to do with that beverage you drink yet. RUMSHQ.com. It's got all the links to our partners, all the links to our socials, and community.rumshq.com. That's the place the show lives 24/7. The only thing missing is you. And today is a killer episode. We are so excited to be joined by our partners at Unlock Protocol. So without further ado, please welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show our friends Stella and Cece. Ladies, thank you for being here. Welcome to the show. How are you both this morning?
Very good morning. Thank you for having us. I'm fabulous. Obviously vomiting pink right onto the screen into America's breakfast rooms. So yeah, I'm super excited about this one. Ceci, how about you?
All good, all good. Super excited to be here and share everything that we've been cooking between RUMS HQ and Unlock Protocol, and definitely excited to get to know better also what you are being preparing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, before we jump right into that, because we are, if you're unaware, today going to launch the Rise Up Community Scholarship. I am so proud to say it. And we are also going to be launching the Rise Up Premium Membership on chain. So if you've ever been through the premium workflow in the community and you're like, you know, what'd be cool is if I could pay with crypto. Well, now, my friends, you can. I think there are going to be a couple of kinks to work out with the community membership because we have to integrate with another platform. But I've got all the locks deployed. I have got everything set up. And I do have some pieces of feedback, some questions for Alex and Will about what they want to see live. And I actually think, though I did this in the community last week, there was an opportunity for people to give feedback on art that we were going to use for our tokens. I think I'm going to let that go on a little longer, and I will update the art at a later time, just because I want more people to participate. So this is your chance. If you haven't already and you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, you don't know what the heck is going on, then hey, jump over to rumshq.com, where in the public forum you will see the pinned post. We are finally launching crypto payments and scholarships. You can help us design these tokens. As you'll see in just a minute, every token launched at Unlock Protocol allows you to design not only like the little metadata traits that can help us make meaning together as a community, but also you can have say over the official art for these tokens, and that'll be a nice way to celebrate our community every single year. So lots of instructions there that'll be helpful to you. You can post some in the comments, and we've already got several rolling in. I just didn't want Bearded. Check this out. Look at this. I forgot to show you guys. Look at this. Bearded did this Boon Squad, which I personally love.
Nice.
But I didn't want Bearded to be the only entrant, although he is an integral part of our show. There are so many people who are an important part of our community, and I would want them to feel like they had the chance to participate too. I thought maybe they just needed a little more time. So we'll leave that up a little while longer, and we'll adjust the art as we go. Now,
That's awesome, though.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, so cool.
I think it'll be very cool. I'm going to pull up everything over at Unlock and make sure I'm signed in. Alex, Will, in my haste to introduce our guests, I didn't even ask you guys how you're doing today.
Well, thank you, Evan.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Fine. I was good. And that, I mean, like, if Stella and Cece weren't on, I would be really pissed off right now at you. I'd be really upset. I'd just be gwomping you on the soundbar. But luckily, we have fantastic people to make up for you this morning.
Yeah.
You're never safe from a gwump from me. So you're starting this one.
Yeah, get gwomped.
Yeah, you guys weren't here last time when Unlock visited the show, so I'm really glad that you're back. it was really fun to have them. And the whole time I kept thinking, oh, I can't wait for Alex and Will to see this episode. I wish you were here. When we hung out in Buenos Aires, I was thinking to myself, I wish Alex and Will could be here, but it's nice to be all together again.
So let's skip right over forgetting to ask me how I'm doing. Let's go right past rubbing it in my face how many things I've not been at.
Yeah.
Don't we have? Is there like a show to do or something? Isn't there?
Yeah, and your hair looks dumb.
Something not going right.
Damn it.
Damn it. You need a haircut.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just said I was doing it.
Okay. I've got this up, and I'm thinking maybe for the people who are unfamiliar, who missed the last episode, maybe I'll start on the Unlock homepage, and you can give just a quick overview. What is it that you do? You're partners of the show. We've talked about how you make membership and ticketing and subscriptions easier, but if somebody is coming to the website or coming across you for the first time, how do you like to describe yourselves to people? What is Unlock Protocol?
I wasn't prepared for pitching. I should have.
You don't have to pitch, just helpfully.
I should have registered. This is a pitch. No, all good. Okay, so essentially, what we offer people is a technology stack, an easy to access user interface, a technology that allows you to launch your own memberships, your own subscriptions. If you want to do also product sales, event ticketing. Honestly, whatever you can think of, but you can do it on chain and you can do it out of your own volition. So you don't have to ask anyone for permission. The so-called smart contracts that enable all of this, they will always belong to you. So let's just say this user interface would not exist for some weird reason, right? Your contracts wouldn't leave you. Your contracts will stay with you because they're inherently connected to your wallet. And yeah, essentially this is, you see a little bit of the user interface here and how you can set up a membership. All of it is editable. I think that's a very crucial point. So just like Evan just described that he will change the art, you can manage and change everything. As long as you have access to your wallet that you use to launch this with, you can edit and change everything about it, not just the art, but also the description, the metadata. So if you ever bought a PFP profile or something like this, an NFT, right? Then you know that, for example, pink hair or, a certain dress or something. This is all information that's usually stored in the metadata. And you're already advancing. It's the custom field. Yeah, I always mix this up too.
I was just letting people show some different things.
Yeah, and in here are the properties. This is essentially the metadata. So this is where we would say hair color, pink, right? Or you would say exactly, whatever. Or edition, or maybe it's a collection type if you're launching a jewelry collection, right? But the important part is you are your own boss and no one can take this from you. It's completely yours and only yours to do and to keep whatever you want with it. I think that's the most crucial part, because other platforms, they will lock you in. We are a protocol, so we don't lock anyone in. That's what we do. That was so much better than my did.
No, it's okay. That's what I have the soundboard for, but I'm going to give you a point for trying. It's absolutely a beautiful thing when people... I might actually clip that so that I can have... But then I can also have side-by-side Stella going, ta-da. I would love that.
That'd be great.
That feels like a good one to keep.
Yeah, I mean... I started using Unlock Protocol just as a creator before I became more involved in the community and everything. So yeah, even when my wallet got hacked last year, you guys knew about this, right? I asked Julian to make a transfer of all my locks or help me to push them essentially out of one wallet, transfer them to another one with a script. And he was like, damn, girl, you have a lot of locks. So smart contracts in Unlock, they're called locks, right? So I use it for a lot of different things, and I like using it a lot. Yeah, anyways.
We had a question come in here about NFTs and whether or not we think they're making a comeback. And I just wanted to chime in and say, I don't know if the collectible JPEG will ever come back, but I am really excited for non-fungible tokens like this. And also fungible tokens that will do more than just dollars and cents. I think this is a real step. The reason we wanted to do more to help Unlock tell their story is because this is a real example of what programmable tokens can look like. It's not just one kind of thing. You really can be very flexible here in designing the perfect kind of token for the solution that you imagine. So I'm very excited about that.
I mean, that was my first bit, was just like, oh, when I first found Unlock, I don't know,
A couple years ago?
a little while ago. It was just like, oh, hey, look at that. It's a product that I want to use. And that was it. That was, and that at the time, and honestly, even still, it was like such an anomaly. I was like, okay, this is something.
Happens once a year.
If that. I mean, like, things as a user that I enjoy, there's obviously DeFi protocols that I'm into as an individual all the time. But like as a business owner, it's very rare that you see like a crypto related product that is not a piece of shit, that you're just like, oh, I could see how you could use this. And that was my whole pitch. That was my intro pitch, I think, to Evan, was like, hey, we should look into using this. I think that was the text, something like that.
Stacey, we're going to add something?
Yes, exactly. So basically, Unlock gives you like the magic wand to make everything work for your community, for your content, for your business. Let's say you have a business and you want to give a loyalty membership, for example. There you can use a smart contract. And then with that smart contract, you will be able to control everything. So you do not depend on a platform, on a third party. And that's the magic of Web3. So the NFTs come back, definitely, but with a real use case and the real world scenario, solving issues for the people.
Now, our last episode 400, has a lot more walking through step by step, showing you how to do this yourself. You will get some of it through me as I endeavor to deploy the locks to send them live that we've created. But if you want that step by step, how does it work, then you can see Stella drive through it, and she and Cece both give comments, and I ask questions. It's very helpful. It's all here for you at unlockprotocol.com. But today I want to show you guys what I've been working on for the community here. Now, I have about a third of all the different locks that Stella does. Maybe not even a third, more like probably like a tenth. I have a question before we even start, which is to say, as you can see, I accidentally deployed a contract to Ethereum yesterday.
I hate it when that happens.
It's so easy to deploy a smart contract. You're just throwing them out there willy-nilly. And one day we'll find out that they're littering some indigenous internet superhighway or something, and we'll feel terrible. But for now, I just need to know, is there a way that I can hide locks that I've created since it lives on Ethereum forever?
I mean, well, technically you can send it to a burn address, right? So it's not really going to go away, but it's going to go to a wallet that apparently no one has access to.
I'm not worried about it being burned. I'm worried about it leaving this dashboard because, then I'll have to. I certainly will do this. I absolutely, if I did it once, not only did I do it once, I did it twice. I did it twice yesterday. So now I have these don't use, and I just want to be able to hide them from myself. So if that's not a feature.
No, it's not a feature. It's not a feature. But since it's a front-end issue, if you send me the lock addresses, I can get them hidden away for you.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So, love it. I also...
Although, I don't know. I kind of like just all this, crap. Damn it. Don't use this one. Just having half a dozen.
It's kind of funny if you think about it, because you're probably going to share your screen more often in the future, right? And then it says, don't use. So you have a good story to tell. I think it's funny.
I want a token that represents all of the accidentally deployed tokens that you did.
That I did? Yeah, one for each.
Yeah.
I'd be here for it.
You got at least two. So there's another. I want to tell you one more piece of feedback before we get into it, which is there is this sticky something in the front end that I have noticed where I might have been drinking not enough coffee in the moment I was doing this, but sometimes when a person goes to deploy a contract from this screen, and I was only using the custom screen, I have noticed that this would revert whenever I, had it, let's just say I do it for $1. When I click to generate, oh, well, it didn't do it that time. But sometimes this would just default to another number of days and I would not catch it. But then, as you can see, I have a little thing here. So it could be my sticky keyboard, could be another little front end fun thing. But those are my only really 2 notes for now. I think this is so easy to use. I was worried about it before when you driven me through as we talked about it, but it really is like anybody could set up a ticket for an event. Anybody could set up a subscription in about 5 minutes. It's not difficult at all. So what I've got here is I have got these different collections for membership and for scholarship. And I'm going to switch tabs so you can see this. Hold tight.
Evan, just one more comment on this screen. You see the little stars, right?
Yes.
So if you have certain things you want to look up more frequently than others, so let's say your memberships, right? Then you can star them, and then if you refresh, they should show up first as your favorites.
Amazing.
It's a tiny, but it can help if you have go-to memberships to make that list a little bit easier to navigate.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's just sorted by chains, because we support right now 14 different chains. And it just felt like a smart idea, depending if people want to launch on different chains, to sort it by chains. But yeah.
Look at that. Amazing. So speaking of sorting, that's another question I had, is I have noticed in one of the things that Unlock lets you do is it lets you create a custom checkout experience. Now, we're looking at the Rise Up Community Scholarship, and the solution I've come up with here, because you get to kind of design this yourself, is because we want anybody to be able to contribute any amount, I have created collections ranging from $1 all the way up to $10,000. I don't know who's going to give $10,000, but I figured somebody might want to give $10,000. Maybe one of the partners of the show, maybe Polygon's going to come in here and say, instead of spending money on KOLs, we should give the RUMS community $10,000. Polygon? We'll ask Rudo on Thursday.
Polygon, you hear that?
Bueller?
Polygon?
Just referencing here.
Exactly. Just for thought. So I have created a collection for everybody, but one of the pieces of feedback that I have for this is now, so I've got these different locks, I've got these different collections, and if I wanted to go to the workout flow, or excuse me, the checkout flow for all of them together, here's something else I noticed that I'll tell you, another little piece of feedback that I'd like to work out. I would love it if these displayed in order of like $1, $2.
Oh,
$3.
I can help you with that.
I believe
no
you can.
worries. Yes, no worries. So go to your checkout URL.
Yes, I'm here.
The second tab. No. You're on that other screen.
Oh.
Under tools. Yeah, the second one. Checkout URLs.
Yes, right here for people playing along in podcast land. Now, I was in here, and I will show you where I went. Scholarship.
Yeah.
Configure the basics. We're good. And now look at this. When I click
exactly.
this, it only lets me move each little guy one time. That was the first one, and now I've clicked him again. And see, he doesn't want to move. So it might be another thing that we need to make a note about. But
okay,
when I click him, you can see there's a temporary boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, there's that is definitely a buggy behavior. Let me grab that from the stream and put this on our GitHub. Yeah. I think no one has ever tried to put 10 locks in a checkout. I think that's it. Woo! To be honest, I think you're making a world record here for the most locks in one checkout. Also, you should definitely use the I love your soundboards. I think configure the basics, you can upload your own logo to this, and I think you should definitely make use of that change icon, and then add the RUMS logo instead of the unlock you.
I love it. I think that's a much better placeholder. Not that unlock is a bad one. I actually really like the placeholder that you have. I think it's really slick. How about this, guys?
Thanks.
What if we
Let's customize everything.
Yes, let's customize what we can customize.
Well, and I don't know. I do want to have Rise Up and everybody's. How about we do a little puzzle piece? Here we go. Ah, yeah. There we
Love
go.
it.
That's it. Beautiful. The community scholarship. Okay, so one of my goals today is that we can deploy this and send it live, even if the checkout flow requires a little scrolling, so that everybody can start making GIFs of any size, and we will update the art and all those things later. Because as you can imagine, with like 10 different locks, boy, I've got a lot of little stuff to update. One question I wanted to ask Alex and Will and Tori is if you guys thought that we needed to create, maybe one of the things I'd like is as people start to contribute to this, I would love to find a way for people to give their say about what different kinds of things we might have scholarships for, and the best way to manage that. I was thinking we'd just create another channel maybe in the community. We could probably token gate it, but if not, we want to do some kind of token gated vote or feedback forum. Is there a good place that either of you recommend, Stella, Stacey, that we could spin up a form or a website or something in a couple of clicks so that somebody could connect their wallet? Or do you think it might be something that we need to look for? Like I've used Guild. What's that one you guys, have you guys used Telegram? The Collab Land is another good one that works really well. But I just want to know if everybody had feedback around that as we design that part of this.
You could use Gardens. Gardens is also a way for creating for your community a place to for people to participate in the say of any kind of decision that you would like. So then the governance kind of a scheme can be introduced to communities, and people can contribute voting and obviously connecting their wallets to participate on that kind of processes.
What's the URL? Do you know?
Let me check that for you in just a moment.
No problem. No problem at all. I am going. What do you guys think? Do you have any thoughts, Alex or Will, in terms of like where that kind of thing should live for the community?
I'm not quite sure. I'd go with Alex on this one. See that smirk on your face. I feel like you have a few ideas.
I don't know. I'm a little torn.
What are you torn between?
I have ideas.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, Stella.
Go
What are
ahead,
your
Stella.
ideas? Oh, Alex. I don't know. I'm just gonna
Alex, go.
go.
I don't know. I'm curious what you would think about it, Stella, because I'm sure. I don't know. I feel like I need more feedback from everyone else before I could like say for sure where it should all be, because I'm not. I don't know. I mean, we've been talking about fixing a couple different things for a minute, but I don't know. What do you think, Stella?
Oh, it's just going to go straight to me. I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Okay. Well, I think so. We're still talking about the checkout link for the memberships, right?
Talking about the checkout link, and no. I'm going to put the checkout link everywhere. We're talking about after that. What do you think is the best? You've got some experience with light. This is governance light. We are going to give people who hold these tokens the ability to give some input about what should be done with this money. And it doesn't need to be a robust forum. We've already got a public forum on our site. But what do you think is the best meaningful way to just get people started contributing feedback? Should it be token gated? Should it be something that's public people can see? Go ahead.
See, that's what I mean by torn. Sorry, not to rug everyone. I could see it being on Circle, and that would make the most sense. I don't love the idea of incorporating like another messaging platform, but by torn, I meant that we've been talking about fixing the website for a long time, because right now it's not, it's not, I don't know, it's kind of just like a placeholder. It's just there. It's not on the world's greatest place, whatever. I mean, it's fine. I love beacons, but it's not like that robust. So if we redo it, then that might be a thing. But given the fact that, I don't know, I just don't know. I don't know enough about putting like all that. I mean, I could see putting like a governance forum on a website and having like a list of proposals and all that kind of stuff, but you could do that for optics, but then, you know, like maybe it needs to live in more than one place. That's what I mean by torn.
Honestly, going with the same sentiment, right? So you're using this type of memberships, let's say, instead of a Patreon page, to stay as independent as somehow possible and not get locked in, right, as creators. So if you want to continue with that same sentiment, and I agree with Alex, and you should really focus on putting a proper website together, because everything that is under your own control is always better and more meaningful and will guide traffic where it needs to go, right? Versus if you're not in control. I use beacons too. I always have this as a backup with me, right? I like beacons because it's easy, it's fast. But if you think about what you can do these days with, and then Sissy is messaging in the Telegram group, right? Let me turn that off. So if you think about that, right, then I think focus on your own website. And now you have, I just reprogrammed my own website just by using Figma Make and push the code to GitHub. It was extremely easy to make. Does this still need someone who connects all the ends on the back end? Sure, but it just makes your invoice so much cheaper. The design is fully under your control, right? So you don't need to have like 20 sessions with a front-end designer to explain someone how you want this to look or feel like. So I think we, in that sense, we're living in a good time, right? Where we have more authority over these things, I want to say.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Well, here's what I've done for now. Is everybody who is in the community at community.rumshq.com can find a link in the general chat. I've made it super easy, super accessible. It's right there at the bottom, but I've also given it its own post in the public forum. It'll say, if I switch it to activity here, it will say the Rise Up Community Scholarship 2026. You can click this little link here and it'll take you right to the checkout page. Check that out.
And Evan,
yes,
just in response to a couple of questions.
Yes.
Right now we're talking about just it opening and contributions, not necessarily the application process to apply for something, but all of that. Then we'll, I'm sure, go into detail when we have a process.
And Solomass, is the scholarship tied to a 501c3? No, it's not. Would you have more confidence in the scholarship if Alex and I became the misers of a nonprofit board and we hired Will to be the president of that nonprofit? Taking answers in the comments.
Yeah, I can tell you that would be how I would like it to evolve, is into a nonprofit. But as of right now, that structure is not there.
Yes, and for now, it's just really using the benefits of on-chain data so that you don't entirely have to say, trust me, bro. I want to be clear that the money you send to this is going on-chain to wallets we control. So really, this is the kind of thing that you do have to have a lot of trust required for.
Yeah, it's very centralized right now.
But frankly, if I don't know about you, Will, Alex, if I wanted to rug pull everybody, I don't know, man. If we were just willing to do a little bit of crime,
yeah,
you know, I think there are about 1 million times along the way we probably could have done all of it and enriched ourselves. I don't think the scholarship's going to do it. I think mostly it will have to help other people.
Well, seeing as how Alex had at one point, $300,000 being waved in front of him to do something that goes against how he thinks like a project should be built, and said no to that, I don't think he's going to be tempted, or any of us are going to be tempted from a few $1,000. But
No, but you do have to trust us. You do have to trust us a little bit here. This is a trust me, bro kind of thing. And the kind of thing we hope to use it for. Maybe let's go around and do a round of things. What would you like to see the scholarship used for? Personally, for myself, I would love to see this scholarship fund Rise Up IRL. A lot of people have expressed interest in getting together as a community in person to break bread, to meet each other, to kind of extend the stuff that we do on the show to do in the community. And this would pay for example, renting a room or buying pizzas from, from sponsoring Pizza Dow to get the full branding to just getting a couple of pies from a local place down the street, or maybe providing for transportation for people who can't quite get there. Somebody needs a tank of gas, that kind of thing. What would you guys be excited to see this used for?
I don't know if you remember the original scholarship fund that you and I were conceptualizing many years ago at this point now was also for micro grants for tech.
Yes.
Like for people who don't have access to, the tools that you need to interact with all of this stuff. If we're lauding decentralized finance and all of the things that being on chain opens up to people, but we're purporting to do it to support the unbanked and underbanked and under-teched and not doing anything to fix that access problem. So that was my first goal with it, was increasing accessibility just to all this stuff, because you still need an internet connection and you still need a device to access it. And granted, one of the most upsetting fun facts is that more people already do have access to the internet than have access to clean drinking water. Feels like a problem, but you can still improve. So that's kind of where that's my first goal with it, actually, is accessibility. So it would be really cool to do individually applied for micro grants, but then also to have a portion of donations go into some sort of broader, which would have to be a nonprofit, effort to, improve access in different parts of the world that are underrepresented.
Yeah, my mind first went to, because we'll be having discounted courses available to people offered through Matana soon for folks who want to learn how to code and engineer and build decentralized applications and protocols and stuff. So scholarship always ties to education for me in my head first and foremost. So it's like, hey, for some people, they might not be able to sign up for a whole course because they don't have the money, because it can still be fairly expensive. So helping them use a scholarship and the discount to, if they are interested in coding and building in the blockchain space, and then also getting access to the networking options there as well, being able to kind of network and get in the space and try to get a job actually working. So that's kind of where my mind first went, is, hey, let's take some people in the Rise Up community who are interested in, kind of building and getting networked into the Web3 cryptocurrency industry. Let's help make that easier for more people, and also help our community. And then people who provide to the scholarship can feel good knowing that they're helping people in the Rise Up community achieve their dreams. And it's all kind of like the community helping the community kind of thing. That's where my mind first went.
So beautiful. A lot of good comments rolling in. Solem saying about 501c3, no, it might help businesses donate and get a tax write-off. He also says his suggestion for the scholarship is we should buy a pirate ship and an island.
Forget my idea.
So Solemn's two suggestions, just to keep it clear, definitely set up a 501c3 and then immediately buy a pirate ship.
Buy a pirate ship.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
I am a big fan of this.
You've also got I am thinking for college. That would be great. We could help somebody buy a college class. Tanks of gas.
I mean, you can sponsor
conferences.
workshops, travel to, like you said, Evan, host IRL events for either onboarding or just education in places where it's most necessary.
Yes. Housing, food, courses. Lots of great stuff here.
Access to tech and then education to use it is kind of the...
Yeah, I think that's our real
the
primary
flagship
goal
for me.
is, let's help everyday people become safe, confident crypto users and experience the kinds of community online first, but increasingly in real life that folks are kind of starved for these days. Stella, Cece, have you seen folks do other stuff like this? I know you're both involved in different communities that do public goods funding really, really well. And so I'd love to know if you have favorite examples of people who've shared a pot of money to do cool things. I'm definitely open to it.
Yeah, definitely. There was this guy, I think he's in Peru. I'm really not sure, but he used to make some seedlings and plantings, like little plantings, and he was like trying to make neighborhoods to look not only better but also trying to work with environment. So he entered into Web3 and entered directly to grant funding. So he started his projects about um, community gardens at their city. And then with the fundings, they started to make those projects work. So communities were thriving because with the grant funding, they were able to also set up like a community business to sell some flowers and plantings and seedlings. So the project that started basically by these fundings just became self-sustainable, and then it became part of the community and part of the whole neighborhood to not only look better, but also reforest some areas, give the people the place to have, you know, places where they could rest and they could hang out with family and all that. So the project became like, started really small, but then became really huge.
Are you talking about El Chico de las Plantas?
Yes, correct, correct.
My gosh. Okay. They did Sembrando Ethereum for Epoch 9 of Octant. They were co-grantees with Rise Up, and I really remember enjoying. They have like, I don't know, a ton of content on TikTok, and I believe that's the handle, El Chico de las Plantas. And
Yes,
they planted
El
a
Chico
bunch
de
of
las
trees. It's amazing.
Exactly. And his project, he started like really, really small. He was just at the street with his little car, just trying to figure out how to do environmental work. And he encountered with Carlos Melgar, and he onboarded him into Web3, and then the whole rabbit hole became the face of everything about his project.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing. Stella, ideas, suggestions, favorite examples?
Favorite examples, my God, there are so many.
There are a lot.
But I think someone said this in the chat, right? We shouldn't forget what crypto was actually made for. And Alex brought it up as well, banking the bankless. And I feel they're extremely far from that goal, extremely far. I think we've never been further away from it, in fact. And it comes with additional needs, of course, but also seeing how, the health system is reformed in my own country, in Germany, how the US is doing, how, honestly, the whole freaking world is doing. It feels like independence and self-sovereignty have never been more important before either. So by adopting blockchain technology and doing your own thing, and maybe doing it even close to you, right? I know people always like to talk about, oh, let's help banking the bankless in, I don't know, South Africa, right? Or Kenya, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe it's banking the bankless right around your corner, right? Maybe it's about not young people in the city of Denver sleeping on a freaking cold floor in a tent, I think sometimes we look too far outside and forget that we have our own people also to take care of, right? And own, I don't mean necessarily from your country, but maybe the place where you live, right? You're in your closer vicinity. So maybe, it could even be like sponsor a program for seniors to get into blockchain, because seniors have almost no security anymore in the world, right? They're old, they're fragile, they have no health insurance, no one's helping them, and then eventually they're being let go from their apartment as well because they cannot pay rent anymore. So getting them on board is, my opinion, as much important as onboarding, teenagers. It's really difficult because I feel we're entering a time in the world where there will be more need than ever before. And so, anyways, I'm going to shut up now.
No, that was beautiful. I am absolutely here for it. Everybody in the comments is too. Someone said, OMFG. Yes. Okay, this is what I think. I think we've done enough yapping about scholarship. I think it's time to put our money where our mouth is. So Will, help me with a little screen share. And just remember, this could have been a really expensive pack of Pokemon cards on Courtyard. But today we are going to seed the scholarship. I'm going to put $2,500 of USDC into this just to show you how simple it is, okay? So the wallet that'll receive the pass, this is my connected wallet. I'm going to go ahead and send it to this one, but I will send it, I promise, to the Rise Up wallet. One of the cool things about these is they're transferable. So if you wanted to buy one in somebody's honor and gift it to them, you could do that. Or if you wanted to, if you didn't have a wallet, we could make that work for you too. I agree to the terms of service. How about I'll do Evan at rumshq.com. Beautiful. I'm going to pay with USDC. I've got USDC on base.
Here's the fun thing. So I don't know if you turned this off or on, but standard is usually on. So it will look at your wallet and will see what else you have. So in case you don't have the USDC, because someone asked this in the chat too, we enable cross-chain payments and also cross-currency payments. So on the back end, we're just going to take whatever you have in your wallet that equals that amount, right? And we allow you to pay with that as well. But in the end, what Evan, Alex, and William will receive is USDC. So we do all of that on the back end, I believe, with a tool from Relay, who's been in the space for a very long time as well, providing good infrastructure. So yeah, anyways, please continue.
No, that's it. That's like really the workflow. I wish there was something like, you know, more onerous or, you know, that I like cracked a pot of gold. But like when I click this button, pay using crypto, it's going to prompt me to sign a transaction. And that'll be it. Here I am. I've got it over here in my little MetaMask. I'll let you wonder what's happening, but I'm reviewing. It looks good to me. No scammy protocols and amazing. Oh, no, look, my transaction failed. Let's try it again. Okay, all right, okay. Pay using crypto. Might have been base. Might have been base. Okay, here we go. You send, confirm. Sometimes that happens on chain. And now, there we go. Look at that. We are minted, baby. The very first contribution to the Rise Up Unlock Scholarship, the community scholarship, is there. If you want to make a donation, you want to make a gift of any size to the scholarship from $1 all the way up to $10,000, then you too can do it. Head on over to rumshq.com or just skip the line and go to community.rumshq.com. I've got a link in the general chat and I've got a link in the public forum so that wherever you are, you can stumble into it. I'll continue to make posts and things about it in the days ahead. Wherever you are, whenever you listen, we would love it if you participate and then contribute to the discussion around where these funds should go. Cannot wait to start issuing micro grants. Okay, cool. Will, is this what it felt like to blow $2,500 on a Pokemon card?
Very different feeling because, like, you know, this is a good thing, and you know, I've blown larger amounts of money, so. And also, it wasn't blown because we got a very nice, shiny, beautiful looking Pokemon card that was then immediately sold right back into the market because I didn't want to keep it. I don't like that style. I forget what year that's from, but yeah.
Yeah. Have you ladies seen Courtyard? This is
Courtyard.io.
Yeah, that's right. Courtyard. I'll drive us there so you can see it. Is one of the only crypto apps I feel like you could actually talk to everyday people about, much like Unlock Protocol.
It's up there, yeah.
Will, have you used it since? What was your take on it?
I ripped a couple other, you know, smaller packs open just for giggles, but you know, I have to keep myself away from the Pokemon card market. Otherwise, you know, kind of like an addicted gambler has to keep themselves out of the casino. So, you know, because I've spent some money on Pokemon cards and I'll spend more, damn it. So, you know, no, I haven't done too much more on Courtyard.
Yeah,
but I would love to, and I will.
You can buy by logging in with an email, doing Apple Pay. They set up wallets for you with Privy, or of course you can log in and have a wallet that's connected and click and buy. And the cool thing about Courtyard is they make it easy for you to have liquidity, access to liquidity. The problem, of course, if you're trying to sell a card on secondary markets, maybe you have a rare Pokemon card that you want to sell, is you've got to go through all the rigmarole of finding somebody who wants to buy it on eBay. You got to package it up. You got to send it to them. You got to hope that it makes it to them. All this weird stuff happens. This is like instant. They are the largest owner, buyer, custodian.
They're
of
the
Pokemon
largest
cards.
buyer of graded Pokemon cards in the world.
And now they've got all these other cards that they just hold in this like climate controlled secure vault so that they can tokenize them. You buy the card and the token, but what they send you is the token, which is like your right to redeem the physical card at any time. And you can send them your cards too. It's like the way of the future. Courtyard's totally unlocked it. There are other competitors, but they're, in my opinion, far and away the winner. And the user experience is actually really fun. When Will opened that pack on screen, there was like
so shiny, so beautiful. Look at it.
great animation. I know, right? So,
Oh,
shout out to our friends at Courtyard,
pretty Dratini.
putting the Polygon blockchain to work. What's next for Unlock? What's on the horizon for the year ahead? I know you guys took you went out with a bang in 2025. You were really busy, but hopefully you've had a chance to catch your breath and you're looking to the future. What's it look like?
Yeah, I think a lot of changes are coming this year. I think Ceci has done an outstanding job as a steward, assembling a team of contributors who regularly contribute writing, memes, video clips, like everything you would love to see for social media, and get rewarded with up tokens for doing that. So I think it's safe to say we're decentralizing further and breaking down hierarchies by seeing how successful this has been working out in 2025. So we're going to scale down on steward positions, and we're going to hopefully add more people to the contributor stack, myself included. I'm going to step down as a steward this month, end of this month, and will become a contributor under Ceci's guidance, which I'm feeling very excited about. And yeah, I think more of that is probably to come. We would love to do also more in-person things, but honestly, that has not been, like, it was super nice to meet Evan in real life as Stella and Evan, right? But I feel like the whole Unlock in-person thing is kind of defying the overall idea. So I think if people are going to go to a conference who are using Unlock, who are involved in the community, they will automatically talk about it, right? So we're not pushing that for 2026. We're doing a little bit more on the token end when it comes to 8bond and Ichi vaults, which is kind of nice. But for the most part, yeah, like running everything more of what we did in 2025 throughout 2026 is basically the goal, because that's been working quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say
Maybe
I enjoyed
we're
meeting
gonna.
both.
Thank you. Maybe we're going to improve the website. We have a specific plan, Ceci and me, that we want to make the front end of the website a little bit more creator friendly and less like, oh, look, this is the protocol. This is everything it can do, right? We feel that that could look more community friendly, more inviting, because it's a bunch of people who are using it for all of their different purposes. And it's also a bunch of community contributors who are actually building their own protocols using Unlock protocol. And we want to make sure that these things get more seen, more regularly seen, because Unlock is open source. So if you're building something, you can basically take the entire tech stack and build your own thing. I've been working on 2 things myself for the last few months, essentially. And it's quite exciting because it's easy to integrate, right? Anyways, yes. That's us. That's what we're going to do. Ceci, anything else you wanted to add?
Well, definitely, you have said it all. Just highlighting the contributor side, as we need to understand that this is not a company like, I don't know, Meta and all that stuff. And because this is a protocol and it's supported by the community, then obviously the community gets to contribute to the DAO. And the DAO is basically this big organization that works along with the community. So contributors just come and tell what they can work on and they can contribute to, And something that has been working on really good last year was the content creation contributions. So that's something that we continue to do. And if you are interested and you still want to experiment with Unlock and use it by your side and make anything to work for you, and you want to share your experience, that's something that you can do at the content creation contribution. So that, and definitely if you're a developer and want to check out our bags, as you can see, there are. And yeah, we are definitely open to for you to come and solve those bags. That's something that is open always. So just join our Discord, share a little bit of you, and we can guide you through anything that you would like to contribute as part of the community.
And the link for that is discord.unlock-protocol.com, right? Or excuse me, probably GG. I would imagine everything on Discord is GG.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and the main website, unlock-protocol.com. And then, of course, if you're not following, they're here on TikTok with us in the green room, the backstage, the bootleg stream, and also for my crypto native friends, they're over on X too. You can find them at x.com/unlock-protocol. All those would be good ways to get in touch, I am sure, but jump in the Discord and start participating if you want to. I just appreciate you both so much. I appreciate your partnership with the show for helping us make telling a better story possible, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So I think we have a lot of questions coming in. Folks want to hear our take on a couple of the news events of the day, and Stella and Cece have agreed to stick around and hang out and do the show with us. So Alex, Will, I'm glad to defer to you both, but I feel like the biggest story is the defiance of Jerome Powell. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the biggest story, but also like this week's gonna be crazy, dude. So
crazy. Talk me through.
Crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. So for those of you who are unaware, what was it? Yesterday, the FBI opened up an investigation against Jerome Powell for the potential misappropriation of funds. Those of you who may not be native English speakers, you don't know the word misappropriation. That is taking funds and maybe doing some other stuff with it, paying yourself and doing other things, right? That's what the
using
charge
it for
is.
Something other than its intended purpose.
Exactly. And so what the charge is, or what they're investigating, is if Jerome Powell and the Fed misappropriated funds for the renovation of the Fed headquarters, which had a budget of $2.6 billion, and they've spent $3.1 billion. So it's over budget. And so Jerome Powell yesterday came out with a speech and an announcement. And to date, whenever anybody asked, hey, Trump says he wants to fire you and he says you need to cut rates to this, what are your thoughts? He would just go, dude, he's not my boss. I'm here to do a job. I'm doing the job. Also, it's not just my decision, it's the board, and we all collectively decide on what monetary policy should be based on how our interpretation of the data is to make sure that inflation is healthy and the labor market is healthy. That has been his response every single time. And now after this charge of the FBI, Jerome Powell has come out and he is basically, well, I won't add extra color to it, but he has come out and said that this charge is entirely a result of him not doing exactly what President Trump wants him to do, which is cut rates more aggressively. Mind you, the Fed has been cutting rates. They are purchasing treasuries. They're doing what Trump wants to do, just not as aggressively. And this is essentially a political hit piece, a little political, hit, if you will. And now you have the head of the Fed and the FBI, technically not Trump, but it's really the head of the Fed and the president actively in a legal battle against one another. And markets probably aren't gonna like that, because if the Fed becomes politically aligned, granted, everything's run by people, right? So everyone has their own policies and their temptations to do, right? So everything's a little political, it's all scale. But if the Fed is run by a politician, understand that the incentives are horrendous. The Fed's incentive They are paid to do this one particular job, which is to make sure that the health of the dollar is healthy and stable, and that the labor market is laboring, right? It's doing well. People have jobs. The motivation and incentive for a politician is to get reelected, right? Those are not the same thing. Those things are in fact counter to one another. Because in order to get reelected, what do? You want to pump markets. You want to make sure unemployment's high. And to do that, you cut rates. But if you cut rates for long enough, then the entire economy collapses because inflation goes back to 9% or 10% or 12% of the US dollar, right? So the market is looking at when the Fed and the president are actively butting heads, the market doesn't like that. And faith in the US dollar, faith in just like the US financial empire, which is the underpinning of the global financial system, becomes less and less and less. So it's not a good look. That's the most important story right now in the entire world of finance and economics. That's not great. On top of that, the market this week also hasn't had an opportunity to react to Trump saying that he wants to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. We also have CPI inflation on Tuesday, new home sales. This is all, of course, the US economy. New home sales data on Tuesday, PPI inflation, which is the measurement of inflation in business-to-business transactions, on Wednesday. Oh, also, little tiny thing. The Supreme Court may actually rule on Wednesday whether or not Trump's tariffs are legal or not on Wednesday. I've seen some analysts say that we might not see it until like March to June, but I'm also seeing a lot of people saying that like, hey, there's another opinion day. The Supreme Court could rule on that Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we get manufacturing data out of one of the districts of the United States, but that one's not particularly important. The big things are the market reacting in 25 minutes to this whole Jerome Powell, President Trump FBI thing. And then on Wednesday, potentially the Supreme Court ruling on tariffs. So we'll see.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
That was the
What?
biggest piece of feedback I saw from pretty much everyone around Twitter was the night before market open. Like, really? You're going to do this? Like, right now? Oh.
Tell me why.
Hooray. Yeah, so that's what's going on. And then apparently, not apparently, Michael Saylor bought another $1.25 billion of Bitcoin. So, you know, there's that.
Did he
Damn it,
really?
Michael.
He did, 1.25 billion.
Okay, all right.
Apparently, getting money still is not an issue for Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, especially since Morgan Stanley's not kicking them out of their index. So yeah, let's just keep borrowing more money and keep buying more Bitcoin, and then eventually Bitcoin will go back up, and everyone will say he's a genius. He's the greatest. He's the greatest trader, company manager of all time, or something. Yeah.
Stacey, Stella, thoughts on all this, the macro moment we find ourselves in, the war between the president and the chair of the Federal Reserve, anything else?
Oh, Iran, by the way.
Iran.
Yeah, you got to keep your eye on Iran because that's going to affect the oil market. Also, it's just kind of crazy, and it's the changing kind of like global world order a bit as well, because Iran, Russia, China, North Korea are not tied to the hips, but they're allies against the United States, empire, and it also it affects the war in Ukraine. It like affects China-Russia relationships. It affects the trade negotiations going on between the United States and China. Like it's pretty crazy. So yeah,
it has a ton of ripple effects. That's absolutely true on a social level, on a financial level, on all micro and macro, right? It has ripples everywhere, and you can feel them and you can see them. But like I live down here in Peru, and I see them and I feel them, right? And my parents in Germany, they see and feel those ripple effects, right? Because especially with what is also happening, I'm wondering about this because you did not list this one. I was expecting you to list this one about Greenland, right?
Oh yeah. Well, that one's not probably happening anytime soon.
Yeah, are we sure about this? Because I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure if it's not just gonna come out of nothing, like like the thing with Powell, right before the markets open on Monday again. It just feels, sometimes feels very randomly, but I don't think it's random at all, to be honest. It always feels If you take a second glance, it always feels very placed, right? Very precise of sorts. And this is maybe another thing why I'm so into blockchain tech in general. I think, and you mentioned it before for your own website, right? To have a governance forum, to let your community decide. I mean, you're doing it kind of in a micro environment, but we have now tools that we can take these things to a much bigger, I think, audience in a way, right? And decentralized governance is more democratic than any democracy I feel we're seeing out there right now. So that's maybe another point on why blockchain really matters, aside from the financial element of it. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, and you can feel these effects everywhere. Is not exclusive to the US, because the US has been present, right, in a lot of other countries. Like we still have Rammstein in Germany, right, a military basis, because they, America was one of the Alliierten. I don't know. Allies, I don't know how to say this in German, in English, but we looked up to you guys for a very long time, right? And so did a lot of other countries. So this shift in everything, and this like going against former allies, it feels like it's going to have massive effects on the social level, but also, of course, on the financial markets, right? And who will all of this benefit really? Is a good question. Anyways,
Larry, think.
Yeah, taking some points that Stella just highlighted, I think we need to also address that, considering how Trump has been like working and showing up on how he is addressing some conflicts and all that stuff. For example, the tax rates for international commerce and all that. Everything has been like really clockwise calculated, as to first have the show and have the say and have all these set up, and then work around and negotiate and get a better situation for him as a business owner, and then obviously the country. So I think this is what is happening with Jerome Powell and Greenland and all that stuff is very related on that side. So we may need to see what is going on the backside of that story, on the backside of the business that he is running. So then we can see what's the real story, because that's as we know in crypto, the news are not the thing that is moving the market, So it's something that we just would need to consider and analyze and think, okay, guys, what's going on the market and these big whales that are moving the markets, like traditional markets, and also why they are coming into crypto, because they are coming like hard. These new ETFs that are being placed, these new hedge funds that are like starting to move a lot of money, not only on Bitcoin but on other coins too. Is like we really need to know what is happening on the backside of the story.
And I don't know that we ever will. That's tough.
Correct. But maybe we can have like some kind of traits that we can like figure what is like they are heading, what they are looking to. So then we can at least have like a sense of what will affect us directly as citizens, and how we can at least protect a little bit more, because this is going to impact on the market and on everybody's life.
Yeah. Bill, you had something to add? I heard you. I heard you gearing up.
There's like a number of different things you could go in different directions, but they're all kind of like different conversations. Like there's one talking about just like, Greenland. There's also the topic of, I've always believed that like nations that have allies are always friends most of the time, but like very willing to knock down the other in the game of empires, because like everyone's trying to be the empire, right? I mean, like classic example. This is one of my favorite examples because like I learned about it like a year ago or so, but it's just interesting because you think, it's like World War II, all the allies are super friends, right? All super great. But also remember, like World War II ended like a lot of the old colonial empires of Europe, just because like they didn't have any more money, didn't have the manpower, they had to spend it at home, all that kind of stuff. And then the United States became the empire after World War II, right? And so World War II ended and everyone's like, oh yeah, all the allies are super great friends. Well, then the United States immediately turned around, and what became the number one priority for the United States after World War II was the dismantling of the colonial French and English empires. Because then afterwards, the English and French tried to go back to the Suez Canal and reclaim the Suez Canal. And then the United States kicked them out and also funded the Egyptian forces to do that, and also threatened extreme sanctions against the English and the French, and then actively worked internationally from about 46 to about 55 to dismantle our allies' empires to then have ourselves claim it, right? So it's like, we're always allies until we're not, right? It's always like every nation that has empire, or it's in the empire game or has influence, it's like, you're like 60% friends. And then there's that like 10% where it's like acquaintance, and then 30%, I'm gonna cut your knees out from under you as soon as I can, if it benefits me in my own goals, right? So it's a messy world, and classic trait of humans. I don't know. It's just it's an interesting and fascinating conversation. The world of geopolitics and empire buildings and the great game, the Game of Thrones.
I really
In a
like
way,
this.
it is.
I really like Bush's comment. Blessed are the peacemakers.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I think also people want to know. I've seen this question 2 or 3 times. What does all this mean for Bitcoin? I'm curious. Nobody has a crystal ball. I do have a magic 8 ball, which says self-custody now.
Correct.
Thank you very much. But what are you expecting, at least for market open? Or are you just totally strapped in, got a seatbelt on, waiting to see?
I mean, like I have a bearish stance on Bitcoin, but it's interesting when you look at like some of the technicals of gold and silver on long-term time frames. It's like, God, it's a rebound. But then you look at the chart and it's just flying upwards, because especially off of the news of the Fed. Like, I mean, as soon as that investigation came out of the FBI, it's like the perfect narrative to just be like, all right, cool, screw the system, buying gold and silver, and gold and silver just continuing to go up despite being super overbought on really long-term time frames, which typically isn't something you want to be buying. But there's a lack of faith in like the US's ability to manage money correctly. And when you start having what looks to be, obviously nothing is confirmed, but what looks to be like a political hit against the Fed, it's like the faith in the system starts to go down. However, the faith in the US empire maintaining itself when it's just going around and like doing classic empire ways to fix these things, which is just claiming natural resources from other places, like that does, as a byproduct, boost confidence. It's like, oh, I guess the United States isn't going anywhere. They just got all that oil. And then if, the United States, I'm going to do air quotes, gets Greenland, because like the United States will never get Greenland. There would just be a trade deal with Greenland as opposed to Denmark. Like they wouldn't have ties with Denmark. Greenland would probably become independent and have very close economic ties with the United States. But then we get Greenland, you have all that oil and all that gold. And people go, oh, okay, I guess the United States is here. Because what backs the US dollar? A lot of guns back the US dollar, and also the financial banking system of the United States. So it's like, I mean, you got to look at all of it, and it's just like, when you see the dollar going down, because the dollar has been going down, it's because overall there's a lack of faith in the United States' ability to be able to manage our money correctly and our budget and all that kind of stuff. This tension with the Fed, it's not good either. That is a much bigger scale of distrust than, the U.S. empire showing, military strength, right? This is a much bigger, weightier, heavier thing. So, you see that and you go, okay, but like, what's the proof of that? Just look at the gold chart. Just look at the gold chart and silver chart. And then for whatever reason, Bitcoin, I say for whatever reason, I believe Bitcoin, it's just that you don't have enough people in like the ETF traditional financial world who really believe that Bitcoin's digital gold yet. And I've said this before, but we had a wave of retail ETF investors come in and buy a ton of Bitcoin. And then they saw how volatile crypto was and they go, oh my God, it is a scam. And then they sold. And then they're going to see Bitcoin do what Bitcoin does and make everybody who sold the top feel foolish once it makes new all-time highs. And they go, oh my God, I was proven wrong. But like everyone needs that burn in order to get people to really believe that, oh, okay, like it is coming back. It's not a bubble. It's not zero. So I just feel like, Bitcoin's not acting like gold because not enough people have that faith and belief yet. And Bitcoin just has a history of proving those people wrong and wrong and wrong again, and then turning non-believers into evangelists. And that's what happens every single bull bear run.
Well, right now, too, don't forget that we've politicized the entire thing. So
yeah, oh God, I know.
You don't have objective analysis governing the way that an asset like that is behaving because no one is looking at it that way. The group of people who look at it that way is extremely small and dwindling, to be honest. Like, we're going the wrong direction. Every day, more and more people become aware of it, but only in a very political nature. Yeah. And I've been whining about this for as long as crypto has been in politics, that like this is exclusively a bad thing. I don't really give a shit what anyone else says about it. The US government getting involved in something is not good for the thing. No. Color me shocked that now it's getting worse because the only way that most people have been made aware of it is as a tool of grifting by the haves. And another way to convince the have-nots that you could one day be a have if only you do this thing, and then ignore everything that you read and see and hear and think and feel, and just, buy it and shut it.
But Alex, in a way, this is also just playbook, right? Because as William mentioned before, by ripping apart institutions, right? By making people not believe in anything anymore. This is how you cripple an entire system and shape it in a way how you want it to work in your favor. This is exactly a playbook. I put this here in our direct chat. There is a page, a very, very good page. I think 86 countries are participating in this at this point. It's called Democratic Erosion Institute, and it measures democratic erosion based on specific events that seem to have a vast impact on democracies across the world. So you can download the data set for free. It's a vast data set, but I've looked at a lot of it myself. I can only recommend for people to look at this because this is truly independent information. And honestly, I spoke about this, I think, about a week ago with someone here from Lima, an elderly person, because I said, I think, when I was still in high school, when 9/11 happened, right? After 9/11 had happened, this is when it started that the news outlets, even in Germany, started to become further opinionated and less fact-based, right? And this is what is eroding trust for people. It's not just, crippling institutions. It's also crippling information we used to trust before. We feel like we can't trust that anymore. And it's all interconnected, right? It's like this vast network of different things that now finally, I don't know, but they start coming together. And this page presents a really good overview where 9/11 is not unconnected to 2008. 2008 is not unconnected to 2016. These events have inherent connection to each other and the impact it has on society. So I don't know, it's a very nerdy governance thing, but in case someone else is interested. Thank you for sharing, Evan.
Yeah, no problem. Democratic-erosion.org is the website if you're listening.
Yeah. There was actually a really interesting survey that came out where it was after President Trump won, and he had done very, very well amongst younger voters. And so then people went out to younger voters and said, like, hey, just started like asking questions, gathering data and stuff to see kind of like, it's like, what are the thoughts and opinions and feelings and direction of, voters between like 18 to 22. And, as the interesting thing that came out of that study was it wasn't necessarily that the younger generation really loved Trump. It was that they were losing faith in democracies and that they wanted change from a democracy. You could see for whatever reason, it's democracies are slow. It's, our politicians are all insider trading. It's, it could just be a combination of all the things. Things feel worse and have over the past few years. It just like feels like things are worse. And people are gravitating towards someone who's a little bit more like on the authoritarian side, like Trump is, or maybe even more so on like the Zoran Mamdani side. He just won New York. People for each generation are wanting more and more drastic change from what the current system is. And that certainly seems to be the direction. And people are willing to go to wherever that person is that is different from, the current setup.
Status quo.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's, Stacey and I noticed too well from South America, because since I've been living here, I think it's been eight and a half years. I've seen 7 different presidents. Usually presidents also are meant to stay here in charge for like 4 to 5 years, right? So it's not normal. But we sometimes like to say in my house that we're a little bit further ahead here from people who are still in like semi-working democracies, right? I know it's really black humor at this point, but yeah, I think people are, and especially young people, because we also have in Peru a lot of young people, they're extremely frustrated with the status quo. And honestly, the people who represent that status quo, they have not been listening for a long time, because these voices have been out there, right? These young people have been screaming for change on several very important points that, air quality, it's important for all of us because we all still live on planet Earth, right? Yeah. But not enough impact or change was really made, right? Because there's a lot of lobbying going on. There's a lot of intransparency. Also said 9/11, was kind of, for me personally, like a starter event where the press started to shift to more opinionated pieces. But it was also a time where I felt that, and I lost my thread. Anyways, someone else, please continue. That happens sometimes.
Well, from something that Will said, that it's not like United States or America is going to get Greenland like, okay, this is part of the US and put the flag in the land and that's it. It's not like that. And we are seeing that here in Bolivia, for example. Recently, we had a really, really big strike because this new president that is working right at the country just started like issuing these new policies. And one of those stated that international investors could come and have like 15 years of no tax payments that they could do, but also that it could, like, any kind of investors could come and they would not need to like clarify from where those funds were coming. So what does it tell you? That that's really big, because it could become our country to be like the best place to wash or money laundering for any illegal activity. And and they just flagged it away, like people thinking that people would not read what's the policy that they are issuing, and obviously camouflage it with something that we do have an issue that is our country has been subsidizing the all the gasoline and diesel consuming for internal consume. So in this policy, they said, okay, we are liberating that. So now we are working with international prices, and we are not subsidizing anymore for international commerce of these goods. So, okay, that's something that all the people has been like discussing and thinking about, and all the people know that we need to do that. But all these other stuff that are like 120 articles in the policy are like more than just only the subsidies. So there is an issue of new and international players that are asking the government to issue this kind of policies. And because they already, this president has already, before becoming a president, just elected, just went to United States, for example, to ask money for his policy making and how he would like run the country. So there is an issue about that. In other countries, that definitely there is an impact from this last period of empire that we are living. So it's something that we need to also consider, that these kind of things will become an issue also on other territories, and Greenland will be one, just exactly the same as we are facing right now in Bolivia.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that time. I'm just seeing the time where we've got to start thinking about riding our dogs and ponies into the sunset. So I want to come around for some final thoughts. Will, it sounded like you had a response. Alex is the host of the show where policy and politics and crypto intersect. I want to get your take, and I want to get our guests out of here on time. So let's try and be brief, but let me remind you, if you're listening at home, the Rise Up Community Scholarship is, in fact, live right now at community.rumshq.com. If you want to make a contribution, I am so excited for that. So grateful to you both for making time to join us for this launch and for your partnership. So think of a good final thought. We will have you back again soon, but Will, Alex, who wants to take it?
Well, I'll let Alex take it because there might have been some bits and pieces in there Alex may have wanted to respond to as well, or add some commentary on. So Alex, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, it's really it's hard to like summarize or encapsulate a thought on the whole thing, but if you reduce it all down, I mean, think about the way that the particular system we're in right now has been constructed for you, because there's a lot of different pieces to it. So the first thing that you have to do, and all of these have been, this is not like a thing that has happened because Trump has been elected. This has all been going on for a very long time before him. He might be, like a Molotov cocktail on top of this thing, but there's a lot more. So for many, many years, we have been eroding attention spans. That's step number one. I vividly remember, because I was that dweeb when I was little that watched political stuff like as a kid. And I vividly remember when debates between politicians started to be advertised in the same way that WWE matches were. With arenas and audiences, instead of just like a live stream that 8 people tuned into on C-SPAN and nobody gave a shit about. That's a reaction to the fact that it's harder and harder to keep a voter base interested in something enough to participate and drive the thing. It might have even started off kind of innocuous, but it has had very, very pretty gross ramifications moving forward. At the same time, capitalizing on the fact that now people's attention spans are weaker, and shorter, we drive the dagger home by demonizing learning. So we point out corruption in learning institutes. There are always going to be examples that you can point to hold up to prove your point. So if you want to demonize education, higher learning schools, find some fraud in a college, not hard. Find some examples of the wrong thing being taught somewhere by an unqualified teacher, not hard. All these things exist. You take a bunch of anecdotes, you present them to people as data, you can shape the narrative that way. Meanwhile, no one has enough attention span to pay attention long enough to understand the thing, which is why you have to promote a quick knee-jerk reaction, and that's all you want, because then we can move on to another thing. And so the easiest things to knee-jerk a reaction in out of anybody would be to scare them or to piss them off. Okay, so do that. Then we have this energy source, anger. What do we do with it? We got to blame somebody so that you can direct it away from you. So, okay, if I'm the one eroding the attention span, I'm also demonizing anyone trying to learn stuff, calling you a nerd, making it sound like it's all a scam, you're wasting your money, college is a scam, blah, 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 all this shit. Just because I can point to a few people who have useless degrees they don't use. Easy, again. Then you have to inundate them with so many things that what you are doing constantly is rotating, yo-yo, slingshotting between being scared, being angry, being scared, being angry, being scared, being angry. Okay, I'm then constantly fed people I can blame, and it's never the one who's actually at fault. It's just someone who happens to not be able to fight back. Okay, blame them, inundate you with all this shit. Now we're all exhausted and angry and scared, and we're pissed off at school, and we're stupid, and we can't pay attention to anything. Okay, great. Now whoever set that whole thing up can just go do crime while being completely unbothered because no one can pay attention long enough to fully understand the scope of their crime. Nothing stays in place long enough for anyone to really do anything. We don't even care because all of us are angry about things we don't understand, and we're sharing opinions because we feel like we have to, even though we didn't formulate that opinion based on rational understanding and objective analysis of the thing. We're just doing what we feel because at the end of the day, what do we want? We all want to just be okay. And we're not. And you want to be pissed off that you're not okay. So what do we have to do? We have to blame someone for us not being okay. And that feeds the whole thing. So keep a population not okay. That's going to piss them off. You can redirect the anger and use it to keep someone in power because someone pretends they're going to fix your not okayness. And they can blame someone else for you not being okay. And that's the thing that really keeps us, that would unify all of us, would be the fact that we're pissed off, we're not okay, we're scared about something or other, we don't want to lose what little we do have, and we feel like we can blame so-and-so for it. And then you've just basically built this beautiful machine full of crap that no one can fact check because no one can pay attention long enough to learn something. All of our information sources are corrupt. You can't even fact check even if you want to. Let's say that you can fight through the attention span stuff. You can fight through the fact that you don't believe the propaganda about education and learning being bad. You get through all of that, and you're sitting down, you're trying to learn something. How do you know what you're reading is not bullshit? And now AI, it's getting harder and harder already to clock what's real and what's not. So you put all of this together, and really, truly, your only weapon against this whole thing is to stop being angry, which is really hard right now, and pay attention to something long enough to understand it. And that's about all you can do. I will absolutely die on this hill.
I was a little late with the rage background, the rant background, but it's there nonetheless. So rated out of 10. Let me know on the saltometer how Alex did. We've got comments that say, let's go, Alex. We need to fact check the fact check. And also, this is a little deep for a Monday morning.
I also saw you saved me a trip to Costco for salt. I also love that it's Costco because Stella and Cece, if you don't know, Costco is a place where you go and buy things in bulk. So it's like you're going to Costco to get a crap ton of salt, but Alex has supplied salt in bulk. It's a very nuanced joke. It's a very nuanced joke. I really enjoyed it. There were layers to that. Alex, I think, well said across the board. It's like perfect manipulation. Also, I'll just leave a couple additional comments really quickly. Everything that Trump has said about the Fed, where it's like it's Jerome Powell's fault. Understand that he is trying to put a lightning rod in place that's a little bit higher up than him to direct attention, to be like, it's his fault, not anything that I am doing in terms of economic policy, largely around tariffs. You know, it's him. If there's anything you're mad about, it's him, and he's trying to put up that lightning rod. That's the whole point of this. Secondly, with Greenland, I know some people are out there saying like there'll be like military intervention with Greenland by the United States, and there's all like the headlines. Like those are headlines, and they're meant to get clicks. That will never happen. Greenland is not the same at all like Venezuela. Venezuela had dictatorship. Greenland, people are pretty happy. Things are pretty chill there. Also, they're a European nation, technically owned by Denmark, and we do, despite what I said before, where allies are allies, but really not all the time, you know, are allies of ours. And then also, if you really want to get just into like American culture, invading Greenland wouldn't sell well, and this is dehumanizing this a lot, it wouldn't sell well because most of them are white and Protestant. So it's, you know, it's just invading that wouldn't really sell well. So, you know, there are a lot of reasons.
Well, but that's why we have to talk about Iran at the same time, so that we get distracted by that. Because that's easier to stomach.
I wouldn't add a distraction on that, simply because like it really is a huge, gigantic deal. It's bigger than.
I'm not saying that the distraction can't be a gigantic deal. I'm just saying that its motive is not anything other than, I mean, just the impetus for the whole thing is quite literally because they are. And I'm not saying that this is good. This is not a pro-Iran statement. It's just an observation.
Wouldn't that be wild? All of a sudden the show ends, Alex, pro-Iran.
That would be insane. Yeah, I want to make it abundantly clear that that's not what this is. But okay. The bumper sticker for this particular strain of whatever you want to call whatever we're doing with Iran right now is because they're being violent towards protesters. Seems like so unbelievably on the nose that I think if anything were to drive home the fact that no one has an opinion about anything anymore that's informed by anything other than immediate rage, it's the fact that the government who is telling you that we need to go do that in the name of protecting protesters from government violence are actively macing protesters here. And you can disagree with the nature of the protest. You can disagree with whoever is enforcing the, you know, riot control measures, whatever. You can say literally whatever you want about it, but the objective fact there is that a government that is currently being violent against protesters is getting really upset that another government is being violent against protesters. It's just perfect. It's because we needed a reason to do it right this second.
Remember, Venezuela is not about drugs. Iran's not about protecting democracy. And also, I mean, like we were not too upset when Saudi Arabia assassinated that journalist either. Saudi Arabia assassinated that journalist either. So like, it's all a part of the great game of empire.
But see, that's why it's beautiful. That's why it's beautiful, because you can take an incident. Maduro's a great example. Is anyone like upset that he's not controlling things? No. No, that's not the point, is it?
Yeah,
right?
people are happy about it.
Yeah, but so that's why it's beautiful, because you can construct an instance in which the opposition to it can immediately be scapegoated or blamed as just being pro-bad thing. You know, like if you're mad about the missile strikes in the Caribbean, it's because you're pro-drug trafficking. You know, or you're pro whatever. You know, it's very easy to demonize your opponent when you can, you know, hang something that's like objectively true in front of an audience.
Doesn't make it a better thing, though.
Totally.
Yeah, the private chat as well as the public chat have been going nuts about this. I saw lots of really good comments here, especially about, I like this one from Stella, I'm going to rug you, who said, focus on what is the positive impact you can make? And CC said, educating ourselves is our only weapon.
Yeah, Evan, I'd like to actually just, there was one traveler says, you know, how do the little guys survive? And I always try to make it clear that, like, when I say shit like this, like, I really want to say it just so that we can all be reminded once again, like, this is the point. Manufacturing anger and hatred is the point. So what do you do? In order to best answer that, from what I'm the most qualified to help people do. Here's another instance of a thing that is maddening and mystifying, right? So at the same time that all of this is happening here in the United States, in what is supposed to be the crypto capital of the world, we're answering the question, what does that really mean? Because currently the banking lobby is hard at work getting key provisions in the Clarity Act changed, and also talking about reopening some provisions for debate and amendment in the Genius Act, which is really interesting. And so here's the interesting part about that. That's all meant to kneecap one very particular thing, which is DeFi. Because again, if you can keep people not having and not okay, you can keep them angry and all that kind of stuff. And our finances are the easiest place to hit us all, because that whole system is just super controlled. So, you know, opting out of it is the best form of, you know, passive resistance that you do have. You talk about like boycotting this and that and the other thing. It's kind of all symbolic and meaningless, because at the end of the day, we're talking about like preventing consumption of one thing, but as all part of the same system, kind of all feeds in. I don't know if you've ever seen the chart about like how many companies actually exist independently. It's like 12, and then they own everything. So if you boycott one, that's okay, because you're still buying stuff from 9,000 of their other companies, and it really doesn't matter. So the only way that you can kind of like resist and fight back and, you know, leave is to opt out of that in and of itself, which would be decentralized finance, which is exactly what the US Congress, in hand-holding lockstep with the banking lobby, is trying really hard to kneecap, because they're terrified of it. And they should be, because it is the single thing that can not only expose but completely cripple their entire bullshit system. And if you want proof of how connected it all is and how futile like targeted boycotts are, Elizabeth Warren is currently spearheading one of the legislative efforts on behalf of the banking lobby, and her entire shtick for her entire career has been anti-bank.
Yeah.
And I actually am having a really hard time pointing out any other politicians who are so aggressively pro-bank right now. So like, that's kind of what I mean. Find the thing that they are the most scared of, that they're actively trying to kneecap. That's DeFi, and then just use it. That's it. That's like it. Take the time to learn about how it works and why it matters. And, you know, we have to, of course, do our due diligence to spot out scams, because there's a shitload of them and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's an industry that capitalizes also on fear of the current system. Opt out of it, jump into some crypto shit, get scammed immediately, lose all faith there too. Easy peasy. But that's the number one thing you can do. You know, opt out. Mm-hmm. It's as Jeff Bridges says in Tron Legacy, you know, it's their game now. The only way to win is not to play.
And I think that's why also your scholarship membership comes really in a good timing and in a good place, because it's giving the fishing rod instead of the fish. So giving the people the tools to really not only educate themselves, but to understand and take advantage of this technology, use it to their benefit, to obviously their family's benefit, and start strengthening their skills and using it for their most impactful way to gain trust, to gain also like confidence, because we know that this system has definitely internalized in ourselves by giving us the discolors or the message that we are not enough. And that's not true. We are enough, and we have the tools, and we have the opportunity now. And obviously, that's something that we need people to understand.
Beautifully said. Thank you.
Alex and Ceci for president.
Alex and Stacey for president. I will vote for you. Okay.
No thanks.
Let's do a quick round of final thoughts. I have a couple final thoughts. Then I'm going to shift it over before I I click away. But I know, Will, you sounded like you had a response, and I know usually you've got calls starting right about now, so I want to give it to you first. Do you have a final thought or anything else? This might be a good preview for Market Watch tonight, yeah?
I'm sure, yeah, but no, I gave my final thoughts. I just wanted to add the commentary on Greenland and the Fed. But we have Market Watch tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll take a look at the markets. We'll take a look at gold, silver, Bitcoin, stocks, see how everything reacts today. And actually, the stock market's opening up green right now, but it's down from where it was on Friday, but not by much.
Beautiful. Stella, Stacey, have you got final thoughts for the audience?
I think just one more repeating myself, I guess. I think I stand 100% behind everything that Alex said, by the way. It's like, I don't know, it's exactly what's going on in my head. But yeah, for myself, I really try to focus on what I can positively impact, right? I try to not overconsume social media, only log in for the things that I really care about. And I think by doing that, you preserve your own energy to actually create positive impact, because creating positive impact means you need energy to do that stuff, right? So preserve your energy well, log in the things that you can impact. And I think we all need to get a little bit out of that mindset of like, someone will come and rescue us from this. I don't think that's the case. And that's also not what blockchain and crypto teach us, right? Blockchain and crypto teach us self-sovereignty, and it also means a shift in thinking. And I think we're right at this edge right now. 2026 should be about rethinking where we stand as citizens and how we want to impact our environments. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Stacey, what about you?
Well, definitely. This year is coming strong in taking ourselves the chance to rethink ourselves, to give us also the chance to reinvent ourselves. So just take it, grab it, and start working on it. And this is the best place to really start learning new skills, learning new things, and obviously exploring yourself and exploring ecosystem. And just take the chance. Invest on yourself. It's the best investment that you can do. And that. So just this year is coming with that, and we just need to start using those kind of tools that are presented to us. Not talking only on the block protocol side, but in general, just try to think about what you want, what you need, and how you can do it by yourself. Just follow a community that can give you that kind of tools and feedback and things that you can work on, and just to start doing it with fear, maybe, but do it.
Beautiful. And if you want a practical, tactical way to get started, check this out. I have completed the upload of our Jito Sol staking tutorial last week on the show, Wednesday. We did a whole segment, step-by-step, how to start opting out of the centralized system by participating in decentralized finance. One such example is participating in staking or lending, doing all these things to put your crypto to work. And you can watch just the tutorial on YouTube. Now, the second part of this 4-part series is going to be Wednesday, but this is what to look for people in podcast land. The video is how to stake Sol with Jito over on YouTube at the Rise Up Morning Show. I will also throw a link to that in the community to make it easy wherever you are, whenever you listen, to find it. And I have lots of other thoughts. Like, I'd really like to know if you guys F with Noam Chomsky, or if this will be the era we look back on as World War III, but I think we've got to go. Tune in tonight for Rise Up Market Watch. We'll be here at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern to go through the macro and market conditions that make crypto move. And we'll be back tomorrow with another great episode of the Rise Up Morning Show. Thank you both for joining us today. And thank you, yes, you, for being the very best part of what we do. Check out the Rise Up Community Scholarship at community.rumshq. Leave the questions we didn't answer there, and then come back tomorrow and join us. Until then, everybody, stay safe, be well. My friends, rise up.